Well, welcome back to the Off-Road Camper. Sorry we've been silent for about 10 days. I've been very sick with what I believe to be allergy attacks and phlegm draining down my throat. Massive chest congestion, really painful stomach cramps. I think I'm coming out of it, on the mend, but uh, every time I think I'm starting to feel a little bit better, I get up, start moving around, and the chest congestion starts coming back. I don't ever get, in fact, I don't think I've ever in my life had the flu, and I don't ever remember having a cold. But I do have seasonal allergies, and they usually manifest as phlegm running down my throat and upper respiratory congestion. But this typically isn't the season for it. So anyway, we're still here. We're still in Oregon. And the only thing that's really stopping me from traveling right now, I got the diesel heater, and I'll show you up here. I got all the parts that I needed for the diesel heater. Some more light on the subject here. So I've got all the exhaust pipes and the vents and the hose and elbows and all the stuff that I needed for the diesel heater. Really the only thing that I have any concerns about is that we did bend a wheel and possibly damage a second wheel. I need to pull the dualies off to find out. While we were at the lifted van meet in Mojave, California, and during that issue we had two sidewall punctures. Now a local emergency tire shop did their best to find tires that would fit on the truck. Neither one of them matches what I have or each other, but one of them is past its selling date. So I want to get those tires changed out, but I'd also, if I have to buy two rims and two tires, I might as well go with the single tire conversion on the back and just get 4 tires and 4 wheels and save myself some money and make the truck more capable. But in order to do that, I need a wheel adapter / spacer for my rear axle. Because anybody who has a 4x4 van conversion knows that most of these front axles that are installed on these vans have a different bolt pattern than the rear axle. And if it's a dually, when at the time of 4-wheel drive conversion, they also add a spacer to the front hubs so that you can run the dually wheels on the front or the rear, providing you have standard conventional steely wheels that can be fitted at each wheel position. My truck doesn't. My truck has aftermarket alloy wheels. The fronts are different from the outer rears, and the inners are actually not alloy, they are steel, and they are a different wheel completely, so they can't be moved to different points on the truck, which is also a big issue unless I plan to carry 3 spare tires out on the trail. So I'm trying to get that sourced out. I've talked to Art at AJ's 4x4 Vans here in Oregon. They're in Hillsboro area. And he said he was going to get back to me the following week from our last conversation. That was about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. I did not hear back, although he's a pretty busy guy. Every time I talk to him, he's 4 or 5 months out on any kind of builds or service. So I need to touch base with him and see if he actually has the correct wheel spacer adapter for the back of this truck. I did mention to him that, because he does so many 4-wheel drive conversions, if he can get me the wheels, I'm happy to buy them from somebody local in the community rather than somebody I don't know or some big box tire shop. My experience with big box tire shops is that they're all fine and dandy to take your money when you buy the wheels and tires, but anytime you have an issue after that, they don't want to help you. So I had one tire and wheel shop that they did the tires and wheels on the Jeep. They also got me the matching spare. And then I had some issues with the truck and concerns about the tires on it, and went in there for that. And they literally just did not want to talk to me. They were as rude as you can possibly be. And then when I came back from Mojave and I had a really bad vibration and a leak in one of those replacement tires that was done down there by the emergency tire supply guy, they did not want to help me. I kind of made a stink of it and filmed everything, and so they pulled the tire off the rim and found out that the bead wasn't seated because of a wheel weight, or so they said. And they allegedly fixed that, but that tire's still leaking. And I've been to 4 or 5 major tire companies in the Portland metropolitan area of Oregon, and nobody wants to even work on my truck. They say, oh, it's got wheel spacers on the front. It's like, no, those are dually wheel conversion hubs. Every dually since 1932 has the same spacer setup on the front. And they say, oh, we don't work on vehicles with spacers, which is complete bullshit, because half of the off-road vehicles and most of the lowered import vehicles out there have a wheel adapter or spacer on them nowadays. So I just had a really, really bad luck with the big box shops, and even the 4-wheel drive shops. They told me they don't know what to do about my truck. And I'm like, well, I'm telling you exactly what axle I have, exactly what hubs I have, exactly what my bolt pattern is. You should be able to take that information, plug it into your computer, and find me a set of wheels. They don't even want to look. And when they do look, they're trying to sell me a set of cheap roto-formed soft alloy wheels that will not take the weight of my truck and will not hold up off-road. So I'm hoping to touch base with Art at AJ's 4-wheel drive vans and see what he has to say. Maybe we can come up with a solution, but that's really the only thing that's stopping me from going anywhere. I've actually been parked at a buddy's house in the metropolitan area because I had to bring the Jeep over here because the Jeep still is not running right. And other than short trips to the store, we just don't drive it because the gas mileage completely sucks. I mean, it gets 10 miles to the gallon at best. And the drivability is bad, as I've mentioned before. So I've been parked over here, but my buddy's charging me $200 a month utilities to charge up my EcoFlow battery bank, which is about once every 2 weeks I have to charge it, just because I'm not getting good enough solar from my solar panels to really do anything. And then I power this heater most of the day and then most of the night, this little electric heater. And even though it's only 700 watts allegedly, or 500 watts allegedly on low, according to the EcoFlow, when I plug it into it, it's 1500 watts all the time. The only difference is that it's got a thermostat setting, so it kicks on and kicks off, kicks on and kicks off, but it's still drawing substantial power when it kicks off. And I just can't afford to keep paying $200 a month for utilities. That's, in the off season, that's really close to what a campground would be, where I've got full access to showers, bathrooms, dump stations, water, power. In some cases there was even other amenities. So I think the best campsite I found was down in Florence, Oregon. That was $335 a month if you paid the monthly fee in advance during the off season. And most of the private campgrounds in the area are around $500 to $550 in the off season a month. But the private campgrounds tend to have far more amenities and a more secure and closed property. Usually they're either fenced off or have natural geographic boundaries around them, so they're a little bit more secure and safe, so you don't have to worry about like leaving your cooler outside if you go to the store. Anyway, yeah, I just got up. It's late. It's 4:30 in the morning here, and I was getting really, really cold. I woke up cold, and so I looked over, and it's It's 37 degrees, which is warmer than it has been recently. It's been getting down to the low 30s pretty consistently for the last several weeks. So, um, and until I get the diesel heater actually hooked up and running, that's too cold for me. Um, I need to find a. My plan is to mount the diesel heater down here in this all aluminum footwell, and then port it through right here out the side for the exhaust pipe. But what I didn't realize is that's all aluminum, but there's a big steel structure on the outside of that aluminum where I want to drill the hole and for the exhaust pipe. And I don't have a hole saw or a step bit that is in good enough shape to drill through steel right now, especially if that's part of the frame. So I don't know if it's hardened steel. There's no way I can get through it, and I haven't been able to get anywhere feeling as crappy as I have been in order to go buy a hole saw for drilling through steel. I've got a lot of tools, but the one box that would have that kind of stuff in, those tools would have been heavily used over decades of fabrication, and I can't find the keys to the locks on that toolbox. So I'm not sure where those keys went, because I did have them, but I can't find them now. They used to be on my key ring. The only thing I could think of is that they're stashed away in the little camper trailer somewhere. And but so anyway, yeah, I mean, I've got everything set up. There's a few things that I wouldn't mind having, but I certainly do not need, and I definitely haven't needed them in the last 4 years of being full-time. So as always, though, if you do like what I'm filming, if you like my content, like, subscribe, definitely share. Zero traction on YouTube. It's just been that way. I just can't get anywhere at all. And it really sucks. It makes me upset that I gave up my cycling channel to some people that were helping me with it. I gave up the channel to them because I was caring for a terminally ill family member, and I just had no time to devote to it whatsoever. And so I just transferred the channel over to them. They've done amazing things with it, but that channel was established pre-Google ownership of YouTube, and it was huge, and it's even bigger now. Basically, you know, as far as small YouTube channels go, the only way to growth is to chase the algorithm and to have a cute female on your channel. That's really the only way to grow on social media nowadays, if you're a small channel. I do all right on Instagram, and I will post a version of this video to Instagram as well, but I'm still far below what I should be after 4 years of content production, especially considering I do know what I'm doing. I do actually edit and do post-production work for several large adventure travel channels. They're just not in my genre, so there's no chance for any kind of collaboration, and typically they're nowhere near where I'm at. Although I did recently get a visit from one of my van life girls. She stopped in. She actually went and filled up my propane bottle for me, which was great, for the Mr. Buddy heater. But I don't like running the Buddy heater because I get massive condensation in the cab, even though the cab is separated by this piece of plywood, and I've got double heavy-duty moving blankets over the pass-through. I get a massive amount of condensation in the cab. The other day, my running lights were actually stuck on because moisture had gotten in the headlight switch, and I had to get my heat gun out and dry the switch out. So enough rambling for this. As always, if you like what I'm showing you and you've got any comments, please feel free to leave a comment. I don't get many comments. I'd love to hear what you think about the content. And if you have any suggestions, questions, put them down below. Thank you.